All right, we are up. It is 6 o'clock, and we are calling our July 1st meeting to order here in 2025. Today we are joined by Eli, Jerry, Nancy, and myself. Casey and Ellen are not in attendance. We're going to go ahead and start by making a motion to approve the minutes for both May and June, so we now have those up, and all the park board members were able to look at those on our Google page. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
So
Jerry motions. Can I get a second?
I second.
Eli seconds. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay. Old business. So we have our park program and pool update. The parkies have been able to use the pool. We did have an issue with the liability insurance in terms of getting them the appropriate things, but Casey was getting that cleared up this week, and then they should be good for the rest of the summer to do that. We were able to pivot this month during some of those warm weathers to use the pool a couple times. So, as we have that come up again here later this summer, if we do get another heat wave, that could be an option. To give parkies still an opportunity to attend without having the safety worries of having children in that high of heat. So from everything else I've heard, the program's going well. Do you guys have any other updates in that from anything you've heard? Okay.
I want to make a suggestion.
Yep.
I was up there on Friday before we had a Saturday twilight music to sweep the floor and get it all ready and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of junk left there from the park program.
Okay.
I picked up shoes. I picked up towel. There was a pair of little girl shorts. There was a cup still on the table. I mean, I suggest that part of their job be that at the end of the day, they clean up the pavilion. And even sweep it wouldn't hurt, to sweep the floor, because there was a lot of stuff on the floor that was drug in from they've been playing on the slip and slide, I think.
Yeah, or any activities and stuff, just leftover crafts. Yeah, I would agree. I think we can let Morgan know that both herself and then Reed and the counselors pick up real quick at the end of the day, and I wouldn't think that would take them too long.
Well, I think it should be part of their duties. It is most places you work, restaurant or anywhere else. At the end of the day, you clean up, and I just think they should clean up at the end of the day, make sure nothing's left in the pavilion.
Yep, I would agree with that.
I have a bag to take back up there, actually. I haven't done that
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, we can message Morgan and make sure that gets relayed over. And that's just, for visitors that use the park that don't know what's going on, that can look like an issue if there's just trash laying around. So that makes sense. Can I get a Twilight Music Series update about how June went?
Not really.
No.
It was not very good. We only had probably 20, 30 people.
Okay.
That was attributed to, we thought it would go well because of alumni night. However, I guess they also announced at the alumni that there was a band at the Moose. And the Moose was inside air conditioning. I think they chose to go there. So the only ones that came up were, I think, Jerry and his wife came for a little bit, and Denise Sproutzen and her husband. I think they're the only ones, too, that came from the alumni.
Okay. So future years probably avoid that weekend or just see if...
I think we just pick our own weekend period and not let, that kind of stuff, invade our decision, because it was the wrong decision.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just stick with what we had.
Okay.
Another thing about the Twilight is I had a lot of people tell me that they didn't know where it was, they didn't know when it was, where it was, whatever stuff, and didn't know enough about it. However, they did know a lot about dancing in the streets. And so I said, okay, what was the difference? Why did you know more about dancing in the street, but you don't know about the music up in the park? Because we advertise like they do, only they did have the big billboard, whatever, but that's not what they saw. They saw the yard signs.
Some more yard signs, you think?
The yard signs that said dancing in the streets, dancing in the streets, dancing in the streets. They were everywhere in town. I mean, you couldn't miss them. And so I wondered if per band we couldn't get different yard signs.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have that flexibility within the budget. that we come way under. So we probably still have more left in
Yeah.
advertising. If we want to go ahead, since we do have some time here before
Right,
our
August
last one, to
23rd.
maybe go ahead and try that this year
Yeah.
to see if we can
Yeah.
boost a little
And where
bit.
they're the most seen is on the highway here, going up and down. And if we could just like plaster that highway, I think
Mhm.
we'd get it out there. And also, I think Jerry and I even discussed a little bit about our signs that we have are really hard to read. The Twilight Music are really hard to read. You can't see the dates on there at all
Mhm.
because it's the font for one thing, but also it's just too small.
Okay.
So next year I think we need to make that bigger, that part bigger, the
Yeah.
dates especially.
Yeah.
But I really think I just think it's important that we do every band that's coming. I mean, I don't know how much, are they $15 each that we decide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the signs are $15 each. If we did 10 signs, $150 and just kind of put them up the highway 41 and 28, whatever, and,
Mhm.
put them there, I think it would be effective. I mean, it's worth the try one time
Mhm.
and then ask people, okay, how did you know about it? To
Yeah,
get
so
an idea.
maybe here with this August date, if we have enough time and resources to go ahead and get some more printed, to just go ahead and try that, and then really kind of push it on social media too, a little bit harder.
Yeah, everybody has social media. I think
Um,
should share their pages,
Mhm.
share that page, whatever.
Yeah, I'll get. I can get with Joanne and see how much we have left in the budget, especially after paying our last acts, and see where we're at.
Mhm.
But again, I think we definitely have enough for.
We should be
10 to
way
15
underneath
signs,
because
yeah.
if we had $7,000, we only spent 2,100 plus our signs on what's
Mhm.
there. But we're like
Yeah.
under 3,000.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. So I probably don't even need to get with her for that well under. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Do you want me to ask Casey to come up with a sign? Do we want to just go ahead and have Chris make one?
I think we better come up with our own sign.
Okay.
Is that something you like to do?
I don't know. I'm not. I could, but I don't know if I'd be very good at that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay. Have Casey make August signs. Are they putting yard signs in people's yards? Are they on public property where they're at?
Mostly where the Jansen Street ones I saw were just, like I said, plastered on 41 and
Yeah.
28. There was a couple out by the high school, I think, but other than that,
Okay.
I didn't see them in people's yards. Did anybody else? I didn't see them in anybody's yards.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that and go from there. Any other?
I'll get the information to
suggestions?
Casey about the band so that she
Okay.
can,
Yeah, that'd be great. Any other suggestions from that date before August of any switches we need to make, or just advertising is kind of probably our big thing. No, okay. Yeah, I think it's so strange. Like we had such a good one the first go around, and then sometimes just people, especially on social media, how the algorithms work. Like sometimes people won't see things, and then nobody shows up. Because I didn't really know much about the dancing in the streets. Like that just didn't come across my thing, and I don't go out 41 that often, so I didn't really know about it until after and saw pictures. But yeah. Okay. Bridge update. So we were able to. I spoke with Cindy, and Attica Main Street is going to be able to go ahead and put half the money down, so we can move forward with using Bubba Stonebreaker and get that one bridge fixed here. And I think that depending on how Bubba does and his timeline, could be an option moving forward with the rest of the bridges. And then we'll pay Attica Main Street back, and then we'll be able to also pay the back half of the project. So that way we only have to use Cindy for the first half of the project. So I got with Ellen to try. I just had messaged her earlier today of getting the exact name that we need from Bubba to have Attica Main Street write him a check, and then we can kind of move forward from there. So hopefully we can get at least construction started, by the end of the month here or sooner, and then have that project kind of get wrapped definitely before the end of the summer. Any other bridge stuff? I think that's it for bridges.
I've been up to the park. This is Bridges, it's the park. But I've been up to Ravine Park. Has anybody else been up there to the racetrack?
No.
I haven't been up there now.
Well, my son's into RC stuff, so he likes that stuff. So we've kind of been watching to see what they're doing, how they're doing. So we go up once a week. When he comes in town, we go up every Thursday usually and check it out, see what they've done week to week. The first week they had weed-eated some of it,
Mhm.
and you could see the cement, and it looked, amazing a little bit. The next week we went up, they had actually taken some of the trees off out of the woods. The next week they've not done anything, so I don't know if that's kind of flared out. Does anybody know?
I have not heard from him yet. When I was up there that one time, I did see him coming with shovels and rakes and stuff to do some of that initial work, like you said. But yeah, I don't have anything since. I know that was the issue we ran into the last time somebody wanted to do work there. They started, realized how big of a job it was, and then kind of abandoned it. So hopefully, maybe it's just the warm weather slowing them down or something.
Oh, it could be right
Pretty
now,
nice
yeah.
weather to be working
Could be
on.
right now, yeah. It could be, yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I didn't know if anybody had any update on what was going on there, if they
No.
decided to go ahead with it.
Great that anything's gotten done.
Yeah,
That's
sure,
a start.
Pickleball court update. How the last
The
meeting?
courts are done.
Courts are done.
The courts are done. Right now, they're just curing. And
Okay.
so we're not allowed to play them until Friday, which is 4th of July, which is great. Everybody's off work. And so we have tons of people that are going to show up to play Friday. So yeah, it'll be ready Friday for us to use. We still need to get our signage to put up on the, to say this is not for bikes, which we've already found on there, bikes or skateboards or whatever and stuff. I think we're gonna have to come up with something for the opening. There's like a opening between the courts that people can walk through, whatever stuff, but I think that's a great place for kids to ride their bikes through.
Mm-hmm.
And that will ruin the court or ruin the surface there. So I think we're gonna have to come up with something. I thought we were gonna have gates on there, but I actually was not the person that got the project. So we don't have gates on those ends, and we should have, to completely close the courts off, but we don't have. So maybe that's something we need to think about in the future. But
Okay.
signage is something we still need to get up, and then we'll be ready.
Exciting.
Our opening, our big bash is gonna be August 23rd.
Yeah,
So
it's real exciting.
It's been quite a project. Congratulations.
yeah, it has been, yes.
Let's see. Midwest Biological Inventory update. Nathaniel will be back here next week, I believe on, let's see. He shall be back on Monday the 7th. So that'll be his second time doing sampling. Like I mentioned to you guys last time, that he was real excited about the project and was finding a lot of cool plants that he doesn't see elsewhere. So looking forward to seeing what he'll find out there this time of year. Does anybody have any other old business? I think that was a lot of the old business that I had.
So, yeah.
Okay. New business. I think I CC'd you all in that email from Mayor Grant about the dog park.
Yeah.
So he was curious if we had the capacity to go ahead and get quotes and work with a contractor and even just make the decision of where the dog park should go. I know City Council was initially thinking by the play equipment. That was the renderings that they got from that engineering company for down at the riverfront. But I think he also kind of left that open to us if we had other ideas of where to put the dog park, but there's $15,000 allocated for that. So, and then in that email, he said that he went ahead and got the play equipment quote that he'd originally gotten. He found that quote and was able to get that updated from the playground manufacturer. And I think he was still hoping to have that up and ready to use by the Heritage Days Festival.
Oh, good. It'd
So-
be nice if it was done by then.
15,000.
$15,000 for the dog park. So
It's a lot of money.
Seems like a lot.
yeah, it depends. Like surface
However,
area, like it.
Have you seen the one at McCall Park?
Mhm.
They have a splash pad for dogs in their park, in their dog park. I couldn't believe it. I sent pictures to Mayor Grant. And I said, can we compete with these guys? I mean, but they also have some neat things like some neat hollow logs and different things, also in their dog park too, not just a fenced off area, but actually some stuff inside there too.
Mhm.
Yeah, we should look into some of that. I think that'd be
Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, they have a splash pad for their dogs, and another one. They have, I think, 3 fenced off areas, different areas, because they have one for big dogs and one for smaller dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of them, I think, had like a little pond area in it that was just dug out. Actually, is all it was. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know what they're talking about, what they want.
I think the only thing council saw was those renderings that
Mhm.
that we'd also seen. And I can't remember. It's been a while since they had those done. If they had a section for small and large, I
I
think
don't think so. Just a fence,
Just
just
a
an
fence?
area that they had on
Okay.
there. And the thing about it is, where they had it at now, they don't. They've moved us out, so we don't have pickleball courts there anymore.
Mhm.
That would probably be a good idea to keep the dog park up closer, to where the playground's going to be, or that. I'm not saying not even with it, but where that house is they tore down,
Mhm.
kind of on back in that area, to leave the front area open for if they do want to do a theater.
Yeah,
They have that area in front of the playground there for
Yeah.
the theater.
yeah, that's what I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on where to put it, and definitely thinking with an eye towards the future of any other developments and stuff that we'd like to do. Personally, I think still keeping it probably down there at the riverfront makes the most sense. That's infrastructure that if it were to flood down there, it'd be okay for the most part. That's pretty high up over there too. I think that was out of the 100-year floodplain, so I'd probably lean towards that compared to Ravine Park.
Oh, definitely.
I do too.
Okay.
Don't know where that'd be wrong with Irving Park.
Yeah. So I guess thoughts on from the board if anybody has the capacity to take that on and get some quotes from contractors, or should we have Mayor Grant pursue this?
Well, I guess if we, initially, didn't he ask just what our preference was, where it should go?
Mhm.
And then I can't remember, did he ask what we should have in it or just where it should go?
He just wanted opinions on things, and then I don't think he'd asked like what exactly we were envisioning in terms of what will go in it.
And the
But-
size, was it already laid out in the,
It wasn't those plans, but
Yeah.
I think that's probably up for flexibility and our budget, because maybe we get quotes for that surface area or that general area, and that's too large of an area, and we have to scale it back. But so I guess getting quotes for maybe those initial plan renderings, and then maybe going one way or the other and looking at what can we put in here because we still have a lot of excess money, or what should we take out because our quote's a lot higher than what we expected it to be.
Okay.
I know Kaylee Carnahan, the CJC Construction, they do a lot of fencing projects, so that would be one that we could reach out to. I'm not really privy to any other contractors. I think Bubba as well has done fencing, so he could be another one that we could talk to.
so we're talking chain link probably?
I would assume so. That's probably our cheapest
Is there
option.
kind of a preference as to how tall, how high?
I would think just normal, probably 5 foot would be plenty high. So does anybody want to take that project on, or should we have Mayor Grant do it?
I know the Lafayette Parks Department guy, but we can ask him just questions about what, who they got to do their plan and what kind of stuff they had to do.
Okay.
I mean, I can ask him about it, but as far as how big we wanted ours, we'd probably, I don't know if there's a specification or anything about it or not, so.
I think it had that in those plans, like the actual square footage
Okay.
of things. So
Well, if we have that much to play with, I could ask him, about theirs and,
Okay.
see if, they have 3 different ones, so maybe I could get an idea of which each one costs, so.
Mhm.
It may be nice to do a decent one, but
mhm.
it's gonna have to go by money.
I will then respond to Mayor Grant and just say that we will attempt to take this on right now, and if we realize that
If it's too much, we will.
if it's too much and or they're wanting things on a more expedited timeline, then we can go ahead and turn that back over to them.
I'll ask this week, and he's pretty good about getting back to me.
Okay. All right.
Well, it's a good thing that the dog park's been something people talk about. I'm glad we're gonna do it.
I think that's all I have. Does anybody else have other things going on?
My grandpa just texted me and said that the garden hose is broken at the community garden.
Okay.
Thank him so much for all the work he does.
Yeah,
He's the
loves
one
it.
that's kept it
Mm-hmm.
going for
Yeah.
us. It looks pretty decent, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Attica Floral donated a bunch of
Oh,
vegetable
yeah.
plants.
So they did?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I
Good.
told him he could plant them up there,
Mhm.
and he did. He said
Okay.
he planted them all.
Well,
Yeah, I think as vegetables and things start coming on, doing another social media push to tell people, hey, this is for the community. Go up there, feel free to take it, and then do a little weeding while you're there. I think people really probably don't like that idea until the fruit's ripe to take. You know,
Yeah,
they don't like
yeah.
all the work that goes into it. So having your grandpa helping out's been great, Eli.
It's not going unnoticed.
Yeah. I'll get with Joanne. Maybe Eric's got or I'll get with Eric and see if they have an extra hose or something. I need to actually get with Joanne and get a receipt reimbursed because I purchased everything else for that signage for that work day that we ended up not having. So we still need to work on getting those signs in when we find some time here. Those are still sitting in my garage, but we have everything ready for it. We just need to probably pick a date when the weather's not as hot and we can get some folks out to help put those in.
Speaking of signage, I didn't think about it. I wrote in my notes, I forgot to mention it. My son Chris is going to make us a sign for the pavilion for the restrooms. I had 2 people ask me where the restrooms were, and they were right there in front of us, but that they didn't know those doors were restrooms. So I think I'm going to have him just, I've already got the wood. Just make a sign and we're just gonna put above them just says restrooms and I'm gonna do men's and ladies, whatever. But actually, that one of them did say men's and ladies, but it was painted over before we did. But it's painted over, so to me, it doesn't matter whether it's men's and women's or not. But so he's gonna make us a sign and we're gonna put that up. So
Oh, fantastic!
and also, I forgot to mention also that the Attica Recreation has donated lights. Thank you, Eli, from the pool for the pickleball courts. So they're saying that we may take the lights from the pool because they realize that their destination time is going to be a lot longer than they thought. So, so they're willing to give us lights and poles for our pickleball court for now, and then hopefully we'll be able to have some tournaments, which I know we will have some tournaments down the line to help them out. So that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, good to have these.
We decided that we
collaborations.
could work together
Yeah.
and it would be much better for both of us.
Sure.
They're talking about the Attica pool. I guess I can tell you an update on that too, since I know that too. The Attica pool, what they're doing is they're first wanting to decide to get in there to get the concession stand started and going so that they can sell concessions during pickleball tournaments
Oh yeah.
to help them get money. That's kind of their ideal. Right now, that's their strategy, is to try to do that. And then next would be for them to work on the bathrooms, get the bathrooms going. They're just going to have to do it a little bit at a time. They're going to work with the building they got there. The pool part's going to have to come a lot later. But if they could just get parts of it done at a time and then work on the rest.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they're wanting to do now.
Neat. Awesome. Those are good updates. Anything else from anybody? All right.
Oh, just
Yep.
also, the cross country, you were gonna check with the council to see if it's okay to put a cross country sign, Attica cross country sign on that one, on the small
thought that was
pavilion.
Oh, I didn't know we needed to go through council. I
that
thought
was
we went
done.
ahead and just okayed it. I think we're good on that. I don't think
Then
we
we
need.
can
Yeah.
just go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think we need council approval
Okay,
on that.
okay,
I
great.
looked back through the notes, but I thought that was done
Yeah.
and approved.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right. Well, I make a motion to end our meeting here at 6:25.
Wow.
That's a quick one.
Zipping right through.
I think I loved it.
I motion to end the meeting. I second. Terry seconds. All right, motion carries. Our next meeting will be, let's see, August 5th here at 6 p.m.
I can't believe August already.
You know. All right.
Gosh, no, that's not good. August.